Elisha journeys to Damascus, the capital of Aram. The king, Ben-Hadad, is very ill, and he sends his servant Hazael to inquire of Elisha. Elisha says, "Your master will die, but tell him he'll live." He then stares intently at Hazael until he feels embarrassed. Elisha starts weeping, and he claims knowledge of Hazael's future crimes against Israel, and he tells Hazael he will replace Ben-Hadad as king of Aram. Hazael returns and tells Ben-Hadad he will recover. The next day, he takes a wet cloth and suffocates Ben-Hadad with it. Elisha sends his servant to anoint Jehu king over Israel. The servant runs into the house, pours oil on Jehu's head, tells him he must destroy Ahab's house, and runs off. Jehu's friends ask what that maniac wanted, and Jehu's like, "Oh, you know." His friends press him, and he confesses he's now king, and they honor him. King Joram spies an army coming towards his palace. He sends a messenger saying, "Do you come in peace?" The messenger returns saying, "The man in charge must be Jehu. He's driving like a maniac as usual." He says, "What do you have to do with peace, Joram?" Joram flees but is shot down by Jehu. Joram's body is tossed into what was once Naboth's vineyard. Jehu also kills Ahaziah, king of Judah, who had been visiting Joram at the time. We then hear about the death of Jezebel. Jezebel puts on makeup, sits in the second-story window, and calls to Jehu, "Have you come in peace, you Zimri, you murderer of your master?" Jezebel's eunuchs side with Jehu and throw her out the window. Jezebel hits the ground and her blood spattered on the wall. Jehu and his men go inside to eat lunch, and their horses trample her. When they return to bury her, they only find her skull, hands, and feet. Elijah's prophecy is affirmed. Dogs will devour Jezebel. The royal servants side with Jehu, and they behead Ahab's 70 sons and send the heads in baskets to Jehu, and Jehu piles them up at the gate of Jezreel. Jehu kills all of Ahab's friends and priests. On the side, he also kills some relatives of Judah's now former king. Jehu tells the priests of Baal he will serve Baal more faithfully than Ahab did, and he invites them all to come to a great sacrifice. After the sacrifice, Jehu slaughters the priests. God promised to reward Jehu for his faithfulness. However, the text says that sometimes Jehu was unfaithful by worshipping the golden calves. Jehu reigned over Israel for 28 years. When he died, his son Jehoahaz succeeded him as king. Jehoahaz reigned over Israel for 17 years, but he was evil. Israel still refused to repent even after God allowed the Arameans to wipe out most of their army. After Jehoahaz, Jehoash reigned over Israel for 16 years, but he was also evil. Jehoash visits Elisha, who had been sick for a long time and would soon die. Jehoash weeps in Elisha's presence, saying, my father, the chariots and horsemen of Israel." And Elisha gives his last message, "Take your bow and shoot towards Aram. You will defeat them. Strike the ground with your arrows." Jehoash strikes the ground 3 times, but stops. Elisha is angry and tells him if he had struck it more times, he would have had a greater victory. But now, you will only have 3 victories before Aram returns. Elisha dies and is buried in a tomb. Sometime later, Moabite raiders show up during another funeral for a different family. The family quickly throws the body into Elisha's tomb and runs. The text says, when the body touched Elisha's bones, the man came to life and stood up on his feet. The text also says that later, Jehoash was only able to defeat the Arameans 3 times, but God was still compassionate towards his sinful people for the sake of his covenant with Abraham.